Well, I want to tell you some stories today. As an author, one of my favorite things to do is to tell stories. Can you imagine trying to sleep in a bedroom with a pet elephant? Holy guacamole! You are the cutest cat I've ever seen. And he would say, no, I mean, I've never seen a cat that big. I said, yeah, no, isn't he cool? And she said, wow. And I said, what is wrong with my cat? He landed like this and stayed there. You are doing a wonderful job with your kitty. I said, I know. But what's wrong with him? What do you mean you don't know? Like, if you turn the television on, my grandpa does this. And she said, allergic to television? And my mom went, Mom, get you a soda now. And she said, go now. He says, I'm going now. Shoo? And she said, shoo. And he said, shoo. And she said, shoo now. And he said, shoo now. It becomes a really interesting story. If you miss any one of these things, your reader is missing something. Go ahead. It's Colombian and Italian. That's really cool. And where her best friend's family was from. And something about her best friend. Cowboys and aliens. What if the cowboys are the original aliens from another planet? Yeah. They had a stone behind their head. They assumed it was Tom Horn, but they don't know for sure. I was like, come on, come on. And finally, and he came down the hall. He was hairy. He was scary. He was stinky. He was dorky. And my brother went, can I sleep in your room? I'm kind of freaked out. And I was like, yeah. On a tempo like this. Under this full moon, this... He's pretending to snore. Thank you so much. And I knew about these boys because I'd heard about them. They weren't the kind of boys you should hang around with because they were kind of mean. Actually, they were bullies. They were those kids. They were kids that liked to push other people around and be mean to them. Calling me a crybaby. And then they pushed me down into the ground and they started to kick me and spit on me. See, I wasn't going to tell on the bullies because I knew if I did, they'd be meaner to me. But I was ashamed of myself because of what was happening to me. Today I'm going to tell you the story that I call The Man in the Woods. And as I told that story, those three bullies' eyes just got bigger and bigger and bigger. Because see, bullies are bigger chickens than everyone else. That's why they insulate themselves. That's why they pick on smaller people, because they're afraid. Because from that point on, I never again got kicked, hit, spit on, or picked on. I became friends with everyone in my class, even the bullies. I'd love to say that's where the story ends, but it's not. When a bully picks on you, you never forget it. When a bully defines your self-image, you don't forget them. They stay with you forever. You feel like you're wearing a backpack your whole life. You feel like you have a weight on your back, and it's that bully. It's happening right here in this school, I'm sure of it. You are a weight on someone else's back, and you're going to regret it. Somebody in the school right now needs you. They need you to be friendly. They need you to be nice. They need you to have lunch with. They need you to play with them on the playground, or they might just need you to keep your mouth shut. Imagine that. You have something mean to say to them and you decide not to. You just keep your mouth shut. Can you imagine doing that? Wouldn't that be nice? Then they wouldn't have to have that burden that night of wondering why nobody likes them. How many of you can pull your writer's notebook out, write down a story? It might someday, today, tomorrow, help someone else. Get your notebook out and think about this. If I could tell the world one story, what story would I tell? What's your story? What do you want to share with this world? Get out your notebook, start writing it down. It's amazing when it goes from your brain through a pencil onto a piece of paper, what happens to other people and what happens to you.